Welcome to day 3 of the 30-day wholesaling challenge, and in this video I'm going to show you how to do virtual wholesaling real estate step by step so you can get wholesaling real estate deals over the phone, with your computer, wherever. But you're going to learn today how to master virtual wholesaling real estate and exactly how you can start wholesaling real estate in the 30-day wholesaling challenge in virtual wholesaling. Now, if you watched the last video, day 2, or if you haven't, go in the description below. The playlist for the 30 wholesaling challenge is there. We learned exactly should I do local wholesaling or virtual wholesaling real estate. And even if you are doing local wholesaling, this is an important video because hopefully when you're making a ton of money, you're going to go virtual, and it's very important to know. So virtual wholesaling is basically the process of finding and closing motivated sellers over the phone or over the computer. It's the same exact process that we talked about before in wholesaling real estate, except we don't meet with the seller and we get it all done virtually. Now, there are pros and cons to virtual wholesaling, but I truly believe virtual wholesaling shouldn't damper you. It should honestly make it even easier for you to get your first wholesaling deal if you're dedicated and ready to go individual. So before I break it down, before I give you thousands of dollars of wholesaling real estate game, do me a favor, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe, and let's get into it. So I kind of talked before, virtual wholesaling is the same basic process of wholesaling houses, but let me give you a process overview from sort of start to finish of how to virtually wholesale houses. And as one of the biggest virtual wholesalers in the entire country, I can tell you this stuff works. Now, step 1, this is basically the same premise of wholesaling houses. We got to do some marketing. We got to actually go out here and find motivated sellers. And really, we just have to change up our marketing processes. We can't really do drawing for dollars or reverse drawing for dollars or go in person to pull a government list. We're most likely have to call or email for the government list information, which we'll talk more about in 30-day wholesaling challenge here. And really, most of our marketing is going to be cold calling, SMS, and a lot of other marketing strategies you can do from all over the globe. But really, the only big process difference is we do our marketing, we speak to our sellers, and really up to that point, the entire wholesaling real estate process is the same. The only thing that is different is when the seller is ready to sell the property and sign a contract. The biggest difference here is we don't actually meet them at the appointment and get a contract signed. We actually go on the phone with them and we call them up and ask them if they're ready to sell the property. And if they are, we talk to them. We actually negotiate from the phone and not in person. And then we send over an electronic contract for them to sign, an e-sign for them just to click a button and sign the contract right there. Once they do that, we can get somebody to go take pictures, which I'll show you today how to do. And then we'll walk the buyer through virtually, which I'll show you also. And then you have the cash buyer electronically sign the assignment of contract, still use the title company, and get paid. So really, the only process that's a lot different is getting the contract signed, the cash buyer walkthroughs. So the biggest thing I'm going to tell you starting out, let's go back to the basics here, but how do I find a good virtual wholesaling market? What's a good market? What's a bad market? Now, if you watched a little bit of the video yesterday, you'll sort of understand that we want to get a virtual wholesaling market that has a population of the county over 100,000, and we want the median home price to be below 400,000, maybe 500,000. Now, as of this video, there are hundreds of counties in the United States just like this. And honestly, if you just want my cheat sheet, I have a video at freewholesaling.com where I break down the top city in every single state for virtual wholesaling real estate, and I highly recommend you get that. You do any of those 50 markets, you're going to be fine. Now, I'm giving you a big secret. I also have in freewholesaling.com my top 25 markets for 2023, and the top market for 2023 I found has been Louisville, Kentucky. So any of those markets that have a decent population and a median home price below 400 grand, you should be good. You can Google any of the populations for the county, and you can check out median home price by just searching it on Zillow. Now, let's talk about getting the best virtual wholesaling lists. I have personally found the best virtual wholesaling lists should just be government lists. And yes, in 30-day wholesaling challenge, we do talk about it, but these are lists you basically get the government absolutely for free. These are lists like code violations, probates, water shutoffs, tax delinquencies, fire damage properties. I mean, the list can go on and on and on forever. I actually really love the evictions list too for the tired landlord, but these are lists you get absolutely for free that we're going to teach you in the 30-day wholesaling challenge. The reason why I love this list so much, it's very difficult for your average wholesaler to get because they actually don't know how to get this information, but you got to know at freewholesaling.com, and in this challenge, we actually give you the keys to do it because we're legit wholesalers that make hundreds of thousands of dollars every single month. So we know how to do it, and we're giving the info for you absolutely for free. Now, that being said, that's a very good way to get started in virtual wholesaling when you have no money. Personally, in virtual wholesaling, it's a lot more difficult to get government lists. So another huge swath of lists that I love getting are lists I get from listrei.com, listrei.com, aka PropStream. The reason reason why prop stream lists work so well is you get a bunch of data and a bunch of leads as much as possible, because we're going to have to make up us not going out here and drawing for dollars and reverse drawing for dollars. So I definitely go to listria.com and go to freeholding.com to learn exactly how to use that software. But you can get like the vacant property list, the high equity list, a bunch of stacked lists that worked really well. And you add that on top of the government lists. And those are the perfect ways for us to virtually get lists for wholesaling real estate. Now, when it comes to actually marketing and finding wholesaling real estate deals virtually and virtual wholesaling, like I a little bit said before, your honest base here is going to be cold calling and SMS text blasting. I hate to say it, but in virtual wholesaling real estate, and especially you being in this 30-day wholesaling challenge and you just want to get your first deal, the fastest, quickest, most efficient way to get a wholesaling deal, I don't care wherever you live in the world, can be the hottest wholesaling market ever, it's still going to be cold calling. You gain your skills talking to sellers by cold calling, you increase your confidence just talking to sellers, and you get in front of people as soon as possible, and you actually market and you get in front of amazing wholesaling real estate deals. Cold calling is so underrated still, and it's the quickest way to get your first deal. On top of that too, with SMS text blasting, I recommend you use a service like smszack.com, and I know it does cost money to do that, and it's not a completely free source. And if you want a free source, you go back to cold calling. But I know there's people watching this that are working full-time and they're only wholesaling part-time, and I completely get it. So a service like smszack.com will be good for your marketing. By calling these sellers with the list you have or sending them a text blast, that's gonna be your best way to do it too. On top of that, you can do something what we call social media deals. Social media deals are what we call digital bandit signs, which we speak about at freeholesaling.com, and we actually have a full course called the Digital Bandit Sign Academy at the Flip the Brick Plus. We show you how to use AI to actually create posts in Craigslist and Facebook to actually get motivated seller leads coming to you, and you can do it all completely virtually. This is a method Rick's been using basically since 2004 on message boards on the internet to get wholesaling real estate deals inbound to him, and it's definitely a method we highly recommend you check out at freeholesaling.com, which we have a section for social media deals and the digital bandit signs at Flip the Brick Plus. Now we're going out here, we're talking to sellers, we're text blasting, we're calling, we're getting everything going, we're doing the work, and now it's time to actually lock up these contracts, do the acquisitions, and start getting deals done. I cannot stress the importance of what we call rapport when it comes to closing deals. Rapport is basically our connection we're gonna have with the seller, how much the seller trusts us, and how we sound to the seller. It's very important to actually be a friend of the seller when we're doing virtual wholesaling, and we gotta be the guiding light that actually helps them out. Now, everybody sounds like a salesperson when they listen to a guru course or something like that in wholesaling. And the honest truth, when you're doing virtual wholesaling real estate, you just gotta sound like you. You cannot sound like me. You can't sound like Jordan Belfort, Wolf of Wall Street. You have to be yourself. And if you want to be yourself, act like yourself. Just be a regular old Joe who's looking to buy some houses for cash. I promise you, when you don't act like somebody else and you don't act like a salesperson, you actually act like your own person, trying to see if anyone's looking to sell the property for cash and you're looking to buy it, you're going to sound the most confident because you're going to be you in your own skin. And that's the unique superpower that you have. Now, when we're talking to the seller and they say, yes, I actually want to sell my property for cash, now we get into the actual virtual wholesaling script. My virtual wholesaling script right now, it's pretty simple. All you're going to do is ask 4 questions to the seller. It's what we call qualifying the seller. These are the 4 basic questions of wholesaling real estate. And really, this is going to help us get to the point of getting the deal done. So what we have to focus on is this acronym called MCTP. MCTP basically stands for motivation, condition, time frame, and price. So when we're talking to the motivated seller, we want to focus on M first, motivation. Hey, Mr. Seller, why are you looking to sell the property? Then focus on T, time frame. Then focus on C, condition. Hey, can you tell me a little bit about the property? Can you tell me about the condition? Can you tell me about the roof, the AC? Does the property need any repairs? How old is the house? Just to ask very basic questions like that. And then T's, time frame. Hey, Mr. Seller, when are you looking to sell the property? What's an ideal time frame for it? Are you looking to sell the house in 3 months, 4 months, a year? When are you looking to sell it? And then P is the last one, price. Hey, Mr. Seller, what price are you looking to sell the property for? Just give me a ballpark range. Once you ask them all these questions, you're just going to say this exact virtual wholesaling acquisition script. Well, it does seem like you are looking to sell the property. I mean, would it be open to accepting a cash offer today if I talked everything over to my partner and I call you back in like 15, 20 minutes and we can see if we can buy your property? Literally just say that word for word. Just ask them if they're willing today to accept a cash offer, if I can go back and talk to my partner about the property a little bit and then give it to them. If they're not ready right now to accept a cash offer, ask them when are they going to be able to accept it, or when's a good time frame for them to actually be able to accept it, and then call them back and give them the offer. Next here, we're going to figure out our MAO, or our max allowable offer. And really, when you figure out exactly what our MAO is going to be, we can call them back and just start giving them the offer. Now, we want to make sure this offer is a low ball offer and it's very low. And really, we can use any of the closing tactics that I talk about forever. They're all in freeholesaling.com. but I'd recommend the good cop, bad cop, the standard lowball, or the volley method. So really quick, the good cop, bad cop method is just basically saying something like, hey, I just talked to my partner and we looked at it and he wanted to buy the property for around $75,000. You just shut up and see what they say. And then from there, you can counter from there. Now, remember, the low offer was from the partner, not you. So the weight of the shoulders of the really low offer goes on your partner, not you. And you can negotiate really good from there. You can do the volley method where you just get the price first from them, or just a standard low ball. I would prefer use a good cop, bad cop approach. But if you really want to learn how to do that the right way, the role plays and actually watch me pitch these live over the phone in front of motivated sellers, I would really recommend you go to freewholesaling.com because that actually shows real life recordings of me doing this. Then from there, when they accept the contract or if they don't accept the contract, no big deal. Just say, hey, sorry, we can't do that price. But if anything changes, let me know. But if they do want to accept it, what you're going to do, and this is very important, you're going to stay on the phone. Okay, let me repeat. You're going to stay on the phone and say, that's great. Say this, that's great that you accepted that offer. What I'm going to do is send you over an agreement for you to sign. What's your email? Stay on the phone. Okay, Mr. Seller, what we just did here was we just sent you over the agreement. Let me know when you see it over to your email. Perfect. Well, read it over and let me know if you have any questions and we get this agreement signed right now so I can send everything over to the title company before 5 o'clock today. That's it. You just want to stay on the phone. Now, you might be like, wait, e-signing contracts. What's going on, right? Well, don't worry. In a couple days, Rick's going to do the contract portion in the 30-day wholesaling challenge. We're just learning the concept of virtual wholesaling today. But what we're going to do is just send a contract over an e-signing service like DocuSign or Panda Docs, or there's free e-signing services from Adobe where you can just get an email, upload a PDF, put the contract there, and send it off via email to the seller for them to sign. They just click a button and sign pretty easy. The reason why you want to stay on the phone is if you say, okay, I'm sending over email. When you see the email, sign it and then call me back. Boom. The problem is if the seller has a question, they're not going to call you. They're going to look at it and say, I don't understand this. This must be a scam. And then they get off the phone and you lose the deal. You want to stay on the phone with the seller too, because if you're on the phone, they're like, I want to get off the phone with this guy. This guy's kind of annoying me. Well, the only way to get me off the phone is for you to sign the contract. It just increases your chance of closing the deal by a lot. And that's the point here. Now you might get this objection of, why can't you just meet me at the property? And why are you trying to give me an offer over the phone? This is weird. This is fishy. Well, the way I always say this is I understand your concern, Mr. Seller. The way our company works is we actually don't see the property first. We actually agree with the offer because we trust what you have to say, the condition of the property. And to make this the least hassle experience, we get an offer and we write up the agreement first, and then we just send a team out to just go verify the condition of the property. Now, I promise you the condition of the property is not going to affect our contract price unless there's something significantly different with the property, but that's just the way we do it. We don't want to waste your time going out to properties and paying people for inspections if the numbers just don't work for us. And we just want to get an agreement that works for us and works for you. That's the easiest way to overcome that objection. Now, once we get the deal locked up, we got to work on the dispositions part. And sort of like how that process goes, we get the deal locked up first, and then before we talk to cash buyers, we actually got to get pictures because we're going to send those pictures to the cash buyers. What I recommend is getting what we call a runner or a boots on the ground, which for $50, you can get somebody to go to the property and actually take pictures of the house. My biggest recommendation is when you get the deal locked up with the seller, you ask them, is it okay if my partner comes by next week to actually go out here and take pictures of the property, confirm the condition? And usually they always say that works. Now, also remember to tell them that my partner is probably going to come by and actually physically look at the property within the couple days too, outside of the pictures being taken. He just wants to get the pictures first so we can look at it, analyze it, and then when we go see the property, we can give it in and out in like 15. That being said, we just set up for our cash buyer and our boots on the ground to actually go by and go to the property. Then from there, I'd probably go to Craigslist or a Facebook and actually find somebody for $50 to go take pictures of the property. I recommend, I know I'm biased, but I say make sure you have at least an iPhone. I know that Androids actually have better cameras, but the problem is if I just go to a regular Joe off the street with an Android, either it's going to be the worst camera ever, looks like a potato quality, or it's going to be the best thing ever. Most people with an iPhone have an okay-ish quality, so that's why I only say you need an iPhone. Take at least 75 to 100 pictures of the property, every single room, square inch of the property inside and out, and I pay them $50 for doing it. It takes them like 20 minutes. It's perfect. And I love doing that. Honestly, if you just find someone from Craigslist or like a gig site, just a quick gig for $50 to take pictures, it's really easy to find them. Now, if you absolutely broke and you have no money, you can ask the seller to take pictures of the house too, or you can actually have a JV partner, which you learn at freewholesaling.com actually at a JV. For half the deal, they'll find the buyer for you and take pictures locally, but it's definitely something I'm not recommending for your first deal. Now, once we have pictures of the property, we're getting to the cash buyers part. And honestly, the way to find cash buyers is the same in virtual wholesaling and regular wholesaling. wholesaling real estate. We want to go out here and find legit buyers who are looking to buy properties for cash. My best way for finding cash buyers for virtual wholesaling is by cold calling the for rents to find rich landlords, and to go out here to the cash sales on a service like listrei.com, aka PropStream, which will give me a list of all the cash buyers in the area that are buying houses for cash. We're going to skip trace it. The for rents on Zillow are already skip traced, and on listrei.com we can pay for the skip tracing and just call these people up saying, hey, I saw you bought this house 123 Main Street for cash a couple days ago. Are you looking to buy any more houses for cash? And then add them onto the cash buyers list for us. Then we're going to vet them, ask them the right questions. Now we're going to teach this at freewholesaling.com and on 30-day wholesaling challenge. But once you find the buyers, we're going to call the buyers up, see if they're looking to buy this specific house. And if they are, we're going to talk to the seller and say, hey, my partner actually wants to go by and look at the house. We schedule a date. Cash buyer goes through by themselves, or we can actually pay the runner $50 again to go and walk him through the house. And he gives us a yes or no if he wants to buy the property for that price. Now, if he does, we send him over the e-signing service for the assignment of contract. He signs it. We get the assignment of contract. Everything gets sent through with the title company, and boom, we get our nice check for virtual wholesaling. And that's pretty much it. In virtual wholesaling real estate, we do the same process as wholesaling houses. We find the title company the same way. The title company gets sent the contract right when we lock up the deal, and we give the title company the assignment of contract right when we get the assignment of contract signed, and they pay us the same way. We get paid via check or whatever way you want, and we get checks coming in every single month if we do this business the right way. Virtual wholesaling real estate is probably one of the greatest tactics out here to wholesale houses if you want to do it the quickest, most efficient way. And I highly recommend you get into virtual wholesaling right now as soon as possible. Now, this was just a short video about the entire virtual wholesaling process, but if you want to learn exactly my complete step-by-step tutorial where I show you scripts, live deal examples, me actually talking to real life sellers, I highly recommend you go to freewholesaling.com, my free wholesaling course, where I have complete breakdowns of how to do virtual wholesaling the most in-depth way that nobody else in wholesaling real estate does. If you got any value from this video, do me a favor, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe, go to freewholesaling.com, and I'll see you guys soon. This is Zach signing out. I'll see you tomorrow for the next day of the 30-day wholesaling challenge.